Game time.
Alright, so here we are. We are delayed by 6 minutes, but Clash of the Titans, round 1 qualifications between Falcon Shrey and VNS Knock. 1v1 on what can only, at the moment, look like a small island in water. Have no idea of the map. If actually, you know what? I can turn Fog of War off because we're spectating.
You exactly can, thanks to the new spectator mode. Probably the best thing to hit Voobly so far.
Yeah, in quite some time. And if we turn that Fog of War off, we can have a look at the map. But first of all, we should have a look at the players. So up to the north in yellow, we've got Falcon Shrey. He's playing as Teutons. And
of course, down to the south, we have VNS Knock playing as the Teutons as well in the grey.
Yeah, so it's a Civ War, and to be honest with you, map is looking like Golden Hill, but it looks like a sort of variation on that. I'm not 100% sure, because of course there are so many maps in the CoT map pack. So if someone is 100% sure on this map, and it's not Golden Hill, then do say so in the chat.
I would be inclined to agree with you there, basically because of all the gold in the middle, pretty much says it there. However, the water, of course, adding a different twist there.
Yeah, I mean, you do have the shallows here that do connect the players, and actually the players are fairly close together in this situation. It's not like they're on the complete opposite sides of the map, they're more off to sort of the side, so the distance between them isn't too far, and of course, with those shallows there, going to make it a little more tricky to wall, perhaps.
You're exactly right, and because of the small distance between them means the rush time is going to be a lot quicker. So of course, if either player does come out with early scouts, militia, any kind of play like that, we can see a lot of damage done potentially if the other player isn't prepared enough.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it could go, but of course, if they do decide to wall up these shallows, then we're going to see some galley rushing on the water, I think. Of course, the biggest thing then is that once this tiny little gold patch runs out in each of their bases, they are going to be forced into that center area, and they are going to have to be fighting over the center of the map to get some gold in.
Yeah, there's only 2,400 gold available in those 3 gold spots there altogether, so definitely going to be hard for a player to keep up a galley rush with no gold available for mining. Really going to have to utilize the market, and that's never a great thing to have to do in the early game.
Yeah, definitely not, because, I mean, the prices that you get there, not ideal, and I think, really, the decision that these players are going to have to make is, alright, I'm going to go with a galley rush, because obviously if they wall up, then you're going to have to. But if I can't sustain that galley rush, I'm going to have to take gold in the middle. Do I make a lot of land army? Do I tower the middle? It's going to be interesting to see how they decide to take the middle here. Whether they're going to try and pressure the other person's wall before they can pressure theirs, or if they're just going to build defenses on this middle island.
And those are the big questions of this matchup. Of course, having that hill in the middle there means, of course, if they do decide to put a town center down, chuck a castle on it, we'll have a big advantage versus any ships around the edge there. Of course, castle's pretty much unapproachable by ships, and when you add on that hill advantage, they're not going to want to go near it at all.
Exactly, I mean, they're going to get cut down pretty quickly. But so far, both of them putting up a dock pretty much at the same time. VNS Knock here putting his up slightly earlier, and we can see that he'll be making 3 or 4 fishing ships from there before going up to the feudal age. As far as I know, the resources on this map are standard, as with all light random maps. They do have their starting 2 boar, 6 sheep, and their 8 sheep and their deer patch as well, yeah.
Yeah, so that always makes it rather easy when starting out, especially on this kind of a map pack where it's so different. It gives you at least something to base your start on from, which is always nice.
Yeah, definitely. And I think now, if we have a look at their scouting, we can see that Knock, he's scouted the center. He's probably pretty well aware of what the map is at this stage. And now he's looking for Falcon Shrey. He's found one of his houses, so he's just going to scout around there and see what he can see. If we have a look at Falcon Shrey's scouting, he's not actually left his starting island yet. So he's not, well, aside from going into the center once, he's actually still looking for his other 2 sheep, I believe. And he's actually just walked straight by them.
That is just a bad luck, of course, at the moment. Both players, of course, if you do not scout out your island properly here, you might not know, you might think it's a lot smaller island, which of course means if your opponent does land you on one of the far-off edges, you are not going to be expecting it at all.
Yeah, I mean, in this map, one thing that's actually quite useful for Knock here is that, or I suppose Falcon Shrey as well, is that on the bottom left-hand side of the map, it actually extends quite a long way, and if you were to perhaps put a dock there, a sneak dock on the left side, you could easily slip some units over. I think it's going to be quite hard, even if they do win water control, to keep a full sort of vision of the water here.
Yeah, I agree, unless we see something crazy like we saw last matchup with a ton of outposts coming up everywhere, which I don't think we'll be seeing here, but at that stage it did turn out quite efficiently actually, because he did notice everything coming over. But like you said, there's just so much landmass here where it's going to be impossible to cover all of it, especially in the early game. However, both players probably going to be committing to galleys, but as soon as one of them starts to break down on the galley count, really going to have to keep a good eye on their own islands.
Yeah, definitely. And I think right now, 4 fishing ships for both of them, and obviously up to feudal. Nox sending 3 villagers over to gold right now. Falconstray sending the 4. So Falconstray definitely going to be committing to a galley rush here. But the question is, how many docks are they going to go for? And I think it's going to be something along the lines of 3 here.
Of course, 3 dock being pretty standard once you first hit feudal. Of course, you do have the villagers at the moment to be able to keep up production on all 3 docks, which is usually kind of nice to have. So basically, if we don't see that, I will be surprised.
Yeah. Nock just took some extra stone there. Not really sure why he took that. He might decide that he wants to make some outposts or something to get some vision, in which case that extra stone will be necessary. But I'm not sure if he's actually going to go full out into galley rushing at the moment. He still only has the 3 villagers on the gold, and he's sending a villager. Well, I thought he was sending that villager forward, but it looks like he's just going to wall that up. Might take out Falconstray's scout here though, which is a little nice advantage for him.
Definitely, considering we said how important it's going to be on scouting your own island. Nock at the moment only sitting on 2 docks still, I believe. So definitely going to be a little bit of a hand down there, according to Falconstray, who's already got his 3 up. Oh, but there goes the 3rd dock from Nock, only just coming up. So Falconstray going to have pretty much a little bit of an advantage here with the galley count.
Yeah, definitely. And if we have a look at his economy, we can see that he really is doing a very standard water build. As soon as he gets up to the feudal age, sending most of his villagers over to wood, 4 onto the gold, and he's left a couple behind to take the deer for now, which is a good choice as they are so close to his TC. Those first galleys just coming out, and he's finally discovered his sheep. That's a nice little advantage. Well, not
I don't know if
advantage,
it'd be an advantage at
No.
this stage, but definitely nice getting him in there. It's free food, of course, all free food.
Yeah, definitely. And Nock now, as you said, slightly further behind in galley count. He's just got his first galley out, and compared to Shrey right now, who has his 3, he is a little bit further behind in terms of galleys. But he's just gone and sent 6 villagers over to gold. So I'm interested to see what he's doing here. It's not a completely standard water build like Shrey is doing.
Yeah, with those 6 villages, they're actually looking extremely efficient the way he's got them placed actually as well. So definitely going for efficiency on his economy as well, which efficiency definitely wins games.
Oh yeah, getting every single resource you can out of your villages is really important. Making sure your wood villages aren't blocking each other and such really can make a difference overall. I mean, even if they're blocked for a couple of seconds, all of those seconds do add up eventually. But right now, Falconstray coming down, and he's going to see Nock's fishing ships. He's going to walk straight, well, sail straight at them, and they're going to go down, which is a nice early little victory for Shrey here.
Yeah, it did manage to take out the 1 fishing ship there. How many did he actually manage to take out? There's another
2
one
in
right
total,
now, actually.
yeah.
We've got Nock over the other side actually taking out fishing ships as well now.
Yeah, try to keep it even, of course. I mean, keeping that fishing ship count up or having an advantage in terms of fishing ships compared to your opponent is always an important thing. But I think Nock there, having his army, well, his navy sort of split up, didn't really work out too well for him. He did lose 2 ships, and Falconstray only losing the 1 for now.
So definitely an advantage there, especially in galley wars. We know that every galley counts, especially in the feudal age. Micro and the galley count, probably the 2 biggest things that we're going to see on water. Definitely the deciding decision will be there.
Yeah, definitely. And you can see right now that Nock is actually adding in a 4th dock, which is actually quite interesting because we see on Shrey he's adding in his blacksmith. So on Shrey's going to go for a faster fletching, but Nock is just going to go for more galleys overall, basically. That's his plan.
I'm assuming that Nock's done the math here, because you don't really walk into a game on this kind of level, because it is a $20,000 pool tournament. Well, what?
21,000. Yeah, 21,200 or something. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely a high thing. So you don't walk into a game like this with an untested strategy. So probably going to be able to keep the galley production up there. However, I do believe on Shrey getting the +1 range and attack there going to give him a massive micro advantage on the water, and he's sweeping through the left-hand side right now.
Yeah, nice one. Picking up a villager there as well, which was gathering berries. And as you said, that +1 range is probably more effective, really, than the +1 attack. It's the range that makes the difference. And, oh, Falcon Shrey doing a bit of laming there, killing those deer as well, so that Nock can't gather from them. That was kind of cheap.
Yeah, definitely, but like I said, there is money up for grabs in this tournament, and people can do what they want at this stage, really. You've got to be prepared for everything.
Yeah, there isn't a no laming rule, so, I mean, you can pretty much have to be prepared for that to happen.
Yeah, Nock losing 2 villagers in that pass by on Shrey as well there. One on the berries and one over on the deer on the right-hand side next to the dock. So really good play by Shrey, trying to make every moment here count.
Yeah, definitely. Nock trying to micro right now, but as we said, it could be a little harder for him as he doesn't have fletching just yet, but so far doing a reasonable job. I believe that our Falcon Shrey did see that 4th dock, so he's well aware of it. So he knows that Nock is on 4 right now, and I'll be interested to see if he decides to add another one as well, just so that he can keep up with galley production here.
Fletching has just finished up for Nock, which means the players are on equal terms right now, except for, of course, Nock having that extra dock out, which is pretty much the big difference here between our two players. A little bit extra production for Nock, and a little bit down for Shrey.
Yeah, definitely. But Shrey did do pretty good engagement right there, and actually Nock on 12 warships right now, Shrey on 14, so he still has a galley advantage regardless of the extra dock for Nock. Wow, I'm a poet and I just don't know it. But yeah, Shrey getting a few extra ships here, so Shrey's micro does seem to be in better shape at the moment, managing to take out quite a few ships from Nock already, and so far it seems like Shrey is starting to come out on top on the water.
Definitely. We saw a small engagement there, and it looks like Shrey did, well, I don't know if forget, but didn't exactly see what was going on there, and did miss a little bit of micro. So it looks like Nock slowly pulling himself back up here, but I think Shrey definitely having the advantage on the water when he's fully focused with micro.
Yeah, I think Shrey making a little bit of a mistake here, though. I'm not 100% sure, but he's still tasking villagers to go and get gold, and that's a lot of gold collectors for 3 docks right now. So unless that's intentional and he's trying to do something else, perhaps maybe use the market or something, I don't know. But that's a lot of gold coming in, and it seems like he's forgotten to actually change his gather point there for his TC.
Yeah, he's got a build up of about 600 gold there, and of course that's resources that could be better spent at the moment, could be going into wood, of course, get that extra dock up, could be going for extra food to try and hit a faster castle time. A lot of different options there, but really gonna have to wait and see what he decides to do here.
Definitely, and Nock now getting 3 villagers on that berry patch.
Oh,
that's quite a big engagement for him, and you know he's definitely drew more level from the villagers he lost by Shrey's ships earlier. But what I'm going to be really curious to see now is what they're going to do once this gold starts to run out. It's 2 of the gold camps are starting to get low, and perhaps Shrey was just thinking of gathering it up quickly so that he could kind of have a little bit in the bank for when it does run out, perhaps.
Yeah, it's a good idea, but we do see the market actually coming up for Shrey right now, so he might be thinking about trying to buy his way into castle right now, because of course if he does do that, he will be able to get into the middle, put up some town centers, and try and secure that all-important middle gold.
Yeah, definitely, but even if he does that, he is certainly slower up to the castle age. Nock has clicked up to castle right now, and he's about 20% on the way, so that does mean that he is going to be up to castle age first. He's also got a reasonably even number of galleys, so that war galley upgrade, that bodkin hour upgrade, they are going to come in, and it does mean that he's going to get an advantage on the water, and an overall advantage in this game.
Yeah, looking at the resources tab for Nock, though, we can see that he's actually sold off some stone by the looks of things to manage to get up into Castle Age nice and early. So this means we're not going to see any town centers coming up in the middle until he does mine some extra stone there.
Yeah, you've got a very good point there, and he's actually not tasking any more villagers to taking stone. But perhaps he thinks that if he can win the water, and he can hold this choke point, or the shallows even, from Shrey, then perhaps he can stop Shrey actually getting into the middle, and maybe he could just put up a mining camp there for the time being.
Definitely a clever tactic, because of course at the moment galleys are the predominant combat unit out in play, and if he does manage to hold down this shallow, as we know, galleys having a lot of hit points and a lot of attack for a unit to have in feudal age against any other unit he can really create, so archers no unit will really want to go up against him, so if he can hold that shallow, gonna be in a pretty good spot.
Yeah, definitely, and Falcon Shrey as well, buying his food to go up to the castle age. Certainly not an ideal situation to be in. Nock just goes up to castle right now, War Galley being reset straight away, Bodkin Arrow straight away as well, as we could expect, and Nock here, I wouldn't be surprised if he does win the water.
Yeah, with the technology advantage he's about to get, we are not going to want to see Unshrey here try and go for an engage. If anything, Nox going to be the one pushing for the engage here, and Unshrey probably going to come around, try and kill off any fishing ships he can see, because I think he knows he's about to lose the water. Really
Yeah.
trying to hold on by putting up some extra docks there, but I don't think it's going to be enough, personally.
Well, those docks are going to go down pretty quickly. There's a lot of war galleys out already there, and any ships that do come out of them will get sunk straight away as well. Entree, though, just getting up to castle right now, and if he does keep these galleys up for the time being, then he could make some use out of them. But the problem is that once water is lost, it's going to be really difficult to actually get back into this middle island.
Yeah, and at the moment, this middle island is where the game is going to be at. Definitely going to have a better chance of winning it, because we can see it knocked down to a single gold patch right now. Unshrey down to a single patch as well, and Unshrey moving out to the middle of the map right now.
With the villages, with the town centre as well. And although Nock does have War Galley right now, this TC, I'm not sure if it's actually going to be able to reach the shoreline. The galley, of course, can outrange the town centre. So the town centre could be under pressure, but Entree taking that middle, and obviously Nock, without that stone, he can't take the TC either.
Yeah, we're actually seeing a monastery come up in the middle of the map for Entree as well. Gonna really try and play aggressively here, I guess, as best he can.
Yeah, one thing you did miss, Entree just made that demolition ship. He's making sneaky demos.
He did it? Yes!
He did it.
You champion!
He's trying to do it again, but it's not going to get another one out. But he did manage to do one. I kind of just caught it. Unfortunately, that dot goes down for him, and he's not going to be able to actually make that demolition ship. But he did do it. I don't know how effective it really was. But Entree now, with 2 TCs in the center of the map, 3 TCs in the center of the map, he might just be able to hang in there by taking control of this center area.
Yeah, that demolition ship's actually made my day. I think that's the point I was just waiting for in all of these streams. So, very happy mood right now. But of course, Entree really starting to put up those town centers in the middle. Looks like he's going for a massive boom here.
Well, yeah, I think really, in the Castle Age, the TC is one of the best units, well, buildings you can put down to sort of defend an area. Obviously, the castle is an option, but because it takes so much stone, you're probably better off having the 3 TCs than a single castle here. And of course, he can produce villagers from that as well. As you say, he can do quite a big boom if he wants to. The only downside is the lack of space for farms, but I mean, he can still make quite a few farms around there.
Yeah, he's got his entire island to look at as well when it comes down to farming. Actually having a lot of town centers up. I did miss exactly how many he was going for there. We've already seen the 5th one being put down, and wow.
Oh yeah, wow,
like...
one at the back. Yeah, he's going to try and boom his way out of this. Nock now sending over some villagers to this center island, putting up a siege workshop, and Entree is going to be forced to react against this. Monk going to go over there, get a conversion potentially, but even so, Nock now going to try and take out these TCs as fast as he can and stop Entree's sort of claim to this land.
Yeah, of course. If Nock can take out these town centers right now, it's going to be a massive advantage for him. Town centers not a cheap building to put up, and of course will definitely knock down the booming that Entree can really do here.
Oh, will it knock down the building that he can do?
He better knock it.
Oh man. One thing as well, he's making a stable right there. We could see some knights out of him. Teuton's, of course, good civ for knights. But Nock also does have 340 stone in the bank, but he's not building a TC. So we could see a castle from him, and a castle placed up here somewhere will take down these TCs pretty quickly.
Yeah, definitely. Not going to be able to do anything about it, really. He's got a siege workshop coming up in the back, could be used to defend, but once that castle comes up, we know it outranges the mangonel. Ram's going to have a little bit of trouble getting in there, especially if there's a mangonel sitting behind it. And it looks like Nock's actually going for the battering ram, so he does want to GG push this one, I believe.
Yeah, definitely. Bear with me one moment. I need to put friend of foe colas on. I can't actually remember the hotkey for that. I should probably do that, you know. When it's a 1v1, just always have friends and foe colors on, because then we always get blue and red. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, definitely a good idea, actually, considering.
Yeah, considering he's playing in grey. We've actually got VNS Nock in blue down to the south and Falconstray in red now up to the north of the map. Sorry for the previous colour misconceptions.
Yeah, every now and then I do get my colours mixed up slightly. But of course, easy fix.
Yeah, definitely. So both of them kind of skirting their galleys next to each other. Neither of them actually having a fight there, which is kind of interesting. But Nock now going in for the kill, trying to take down this TC. And Entree making some monks here. He can't convert the siege just yet, though.
So that will make defending here really hard, actually. He has, well, a town center there to defend against a battering ram. Never an ideal situation to be in. And there's the castle drop coming in from Nock.
Yep, there it is, on the next to the siege workshop there. And I wouldn't be surprised if that castle does go up. Of course, we do have Mangonel for Falcon Stray right now, but against 2 Mangonels and scouts from Nock, I don't think he's going to be able to really actually kill that off.
Yeah, you're completely right there. I don't think with what and Stray has available, he can't really do it. Can try and get some converts on the scouts there. Ooh, actually keeping his Mangonel alive there for a second. I nearly thought he was going to have that one, but
really close, but unfortunately not. This castle going up pretty quickly, 60-70% right now, and the TC for on Stray going down pretty quickly as well.
that one scout from Stray, though, doing a real lot of damage actually there. I'm really impressed with that one. He needs a medal. And Stray putting up a counter castle there as well, though. Looks like he is content on holding this area.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's such an important area of the map. I mean, neither of them do have any gold back at home, really. Entree has 140 left in his gold pile. Nock has absolutely nothing, and there's no gold anywhere else on the map. So, as we said at the start of this game, this center area is going to be hotly contested.
Exactly, like we said, this is exactly where the game will be in the late game. As we know with this Age of Empires 2, gold is king. As we know, trash taken out extremely easily by gold units, especially champions, pretty much just the killer of all trash.
Yeah, exactly, and now Nock has some more water control as well. He's able to hit these villagers from the shore, and, you know, later on, once he actually gets up to the Imperial Age, he's really going to be able to pressure this once he gets Bracer.
Of course, and having access to Cannon Galleon as well, going to be able to come in and take out those castles with pretty much no competition there.
Yeah, definitely. So in water control, Imperial Age, and being in the Imperial Age certainly does make a difference. Entree is still putting up more monasteries, or another monastery. Monks here trying to convert these ships and actually doing a pretty reasonable job of it so far.
Well, they are on the hill, so they won't be taking quite as much damage as they could be, and they do outrange the ships there, vaguely by the one range, of course, thanks to Bracer on the ships. So, really, he's going to have to do the best he can here, and it looks like that's exactly what he's doing.
Yeah, getting as many conversions as he can, causing Nock's army to sort of turn against itself. Quite amusing, but Entree doesn't have any docks right now. He is starting to put some more up on this center island. He may be able to do it, and if he does, he might be in an okay position because Nock is stopping his galley production right now, and perhaps he's trying to save some gold. He's trying to, by looks of things, go up to the Imperial Age, and as we said, that could be quite a big thing for him. Entree going to be in castle for quite some time right now.
Nock has just clicked up, and like you stated, he has stopped galley production, which at this stage, if we do see Entree come in with maybe some fire ships or something to clean out the water, definitely could work, because there are pretty minimal galleys out, and it looks like fire ships is exactly what he's going to go for right now. Yeah,
precisely. Four docks right there, making a few fire ships, and he will release them all together and just try and take out these galleys as fast as he can, because at the moment, for this area, the galleys are his biggest threat. My main concern for Entree right now, though, is that once Nock does get Imperial, he can start making some trebs from this castle, and there's very little that Entree can really do to stop the push from Nock here if he does make trebs and defends it with perhaps some knights or maybe even just some more siege.
Yeah, Entree just not going to have anything to go in to engage those trebuchets, especially under the castle, never somewhere you want to be fighting, and with those trebuchets, not going to be able to really just force an engagement there, and if Entree doesn't have an answer, going to lose the middle.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Nock now seeing those docks even, adding in some more galleys of his own. There's the fire ships, and Nock's going to have to micro pretty well here if he wants to take these out. Of course, fire ships are a little slow, and if you do micro against them, you can end up coming on top. But Entree at the moment just chasing him down, and Nock, I think, maybe just waiting to get up to the Imperial Age before he engages him.
Yeah, of course, again, trying to get that tech advantage like we saw when both players hit Castle Age, no one really wanting to engage without the tech they need, and that monk actually just chasing after as well, so trying to get every little convert he can, every little thing to pull his way back up, and saying that Entree's actually taken the score lead, probably due to Nock going Imperial, but still he's on top.
Yeah, possibly. I think maybe Nock now perhaps running towards his castle so that he can use that for sort of to defend his galleys. But there we go, up to the Imperial Age right now, and there's the trebuchet from the castle pretty much instantly. We have a look at his docks. He's stopped galley production, and well, we're just gonna have to wait and see what he's doing. He's not really got much more military production here.
Yeah, hasn't chosen to go up to Galleon or anything, of course. Looks like he will be investing in that trebuchet there, and actually got some Teutonic Knights out on the field.
Yeah, I did notice those, and he literally, as you said that, clicked the Galleon upgrade, so we will see that from him. But yeah, Treb's coming out. A few Teutonic Knights, interesting choice. I mean, it would be cool if he starts to mass them up, but of course, they are quite hard to actually mass. I mean, quite an expensive unit, and very slow as well, so they do get taken out quite quickly.
That's exactly right, but Onshrei going to have a really tough time pushing into him. Definitely one of the stronger units in the game, despite their slowness. If there isn't a direct engagement there, the Teutonic Knights definitely going to be able to take out any kind of unit that's thrown at them, except maybe archers, of course, because they won't be able to get to them in time.
Yeah.
But as far as skirmishes go, scouts, pikes, going to be able to deal with all of that fairly easily.
Yeah, pretty easily indeed. Nock then going to take out this this dock right now, but with the Galleon upgrade, if he micros this, like you can see he's doing, he's pulling away, engaging, pulling away and engaging. Well, that's what he should do anyway. He could take out these fire ships from Onshrei. Onshrei doesn't really have too many fire ships right now.
Onshrei actually investing really heavily in fire ships right now, and I'm just scared they might start blocking each other a little bit, and he might not be able to get the surface area on those galleys he needs. Well, galleons at this stage.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, fire ships, they're good in theory, but in practice, they don't usually work out all that great. And against galleons, they do go down pretty quickly, even so. I mean, you can see they can one-shot them at the moment, and if Nock does micro this nicely, he can easily take them out. And you can see there, he's starting to do that right now.
Onshrei about to hit the Imperial Age there, so we could see a few more things going on in the map, of course. Can go up to fast fire ship to try and gain a little bit of a more advantage on the water, but at this stage I don't know what it's going to really do. If he can get them in a pincer coming in from both sides, going to be in a good spot, but of course to do that we'll have to go through the castle of Nock.
Yeah, definitely. That's kind of a bit of a difficult thing to do. Ram's coming out for Onshrei right now, but Nock, he does have the Teutonic Knights in defense, and of course the Mangonels as well. So these Rams likely to go down very quickly. Trebuchet gonna go down for Nock though, and if he can stop the other one from going down, then he might just be okay, as the castle from Onshrei falls as well.
Looks like he's
Oh,
just gonna get that trebuchet.
Wow.
So Onshrei lives to fight another day here, but he has lost his castle, like you've said, which is definitely going to be the cornerstone holding this little island middle up at the moment. Has a lot of monks out in the field ready to get some converts.
I was just gonna say that's a lot of monks there. It's gonna be quite difficult to actually micro these, but if Nock continues making Teutonic Knights monks, gonna be a great counter to that.
Definitely, of course. Even, well, scouts, of course, are pretty much a counter to monks. But if he can get them and use them to run in and get the siege, gonna be in a good spot, really.
Yeah, pretty good indeed. Nock as well now up against fast fire ships on the water there, and Onshrei adding in more docks once again to try and really get that water supremacy.
Of course, right now, and however, we do have Nock sitting under that castle, and sitting there can be really hard for any engagement for Onshrei at the moment, really. He really has to find out a way to deal with that castle, or at least get the galleys out, well, galleons out of play at the moment, just so he can mass up and get in there alright.
Definitely, and at the same time, he's losing his TCs in the center. He's slowly being whittled away because, as you said, he really can't actually just push into this. He is putting up another castle behind, but again, it's going to be a while before he can get those trebs out, and by that time, Nock could be ready to push in and just clean them up. We'll have to wait and see for that.
Looking at the main base of Onshrei, though, he does have a lot of stables coming up, so we could see a push potentially being readied in his base and then pushed up across the map. But, like I said, just going into that position there, we've already got a lot of scouts for Nock. He does have a defensive castle, bit of siege up there, so definitely has a good point here to be holding on.
Yeah, definitely, and you know, once this middle island is lost, especially in the Imperial Age, against a civilization like the Teutons, who, you know, they can make a lot of siege, they can make a lot of really gold-intensive units, once you lose this middle island, it's, well, going to be next to impossible to actually get back into it. That's the problem.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Of course, gold is king in this game, and really, if you can't put out any gold to be able to deal with the gold-intense unit, especially, like you said, Teuton's been a remarkably heavy civilization, not really going to be able to do a lot against it. Of course, just going to be able to sit trebuchets wherever he wants and defend them until his opponent's pretty much just pushed down.
Interesting that that Nock just ran in there with a load of scouts, getting a few conversions, but at the same time, taking a huge amount of monks out right there. One absolute mess of a fight right here, and those scouts from not getting away as well. Scout cavalry is a feudal age unit in the Imperial Age, doing such big damage.
Of course, well, the Teuton's not having access to even light cavalry, I believe, so definitely making it hard for him to push in there with anything. So Monk's kind of a smart play, but they do have enough upgrades on them to be pretty deadly right now.
Yeah, I mean, +6 attack and +1 defense is no small amount. You know, that's a lot of damage output, even though they don't have that much health, and not going to be able to keep running in there, doing some damage with these scouts where he can, but of course going to have to avoid that castle there, as they do go down pretty quickly to that.
Yeah, of course, still being, like you said, it's a feudal age unit really when you think about it. It's going to be able to use it for these raiding purposes, but won't be able to go up to anything in a straight fight. A few more Teutonic Knights actually out in play right now, and I don't know whether he's trying to mass them or anything, but maybe just trying to keep that castle busy, but definitely Teutonic Knights going to be pretty good in this situation, and it looks like we're seeing Teutonic Knights from Unstray as well.
Yeah, they both seem to be making just a few. Of course, I think for Unstray they're going to work a lot better, but right now, fighting under the castle of Nock, he is sending all of his fast fire ships in, and the question is he going to be able to actually take out Nock's navy? And it looks like he might just have a chance of doing it.
The damage definitely coming down on those fast fire ships right now, and I think Nock might just defend it here. He's sending in reinforcements.
The help of that castle really did make a difference there, and if Falcon Trade just waited a few more seconds, that castle would have gone down. But Capt Ram's now out for Falcon Trade as well, trying to make a bit of a push here. The castle for Nock falls, and Falcon Trade is the one with the castle advantage here.
Teutonic Knights, of course, standing up to those scouts fairly well, but they're just so outmassed at the moment, especially by his opponent's Teutonic Knights, that he's really not going to be able to do a lot about it, sadly.
Yeah, definitely not. Both of them starting to go with some bombard cannons now as well, just for a bit of extra damage, but Nock now seems like he's got enough to push forwards and kind of deal the finishing blow. Falconstray losing the entire water right now again, and Nock may just be able to keep adding units in. I'm surprised really that he's not making some knights. He has the stables there.
Doesn't have a lot of gold available to him, but he does have 800 in the bank. I guess against his opponents having so many monks, knight's probably not a good choice, but now that he's whittled some of them away, could be a good option.
Yeah, to add some of them in. I mean, the thing is right now, the scouts are going to be great for taking out the monks, but they're not going to be so great for running in there and taking, or tanking the arrow fire. But it seems like he doesn't really need that anyway, because he's got enough siege there to try and do that damage. I mean, he's still making bombard cannons, and for the time being, he can still whittle away at this.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. He's been slowly pushing at it all game, and he's got it down to this, really forcing Untray to dedicate a lot of resources to holding this position, and that's exactly what he should be doing, and because of that, he's really coming out on top in the game right now.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, even managing to take out a bombard cannon with his scouts, and so, you know, with those upgrades on them, even though, yeah, they are a feudal age unit, but with the upgrades, they're actually surprisingly effective.
Yeah, and it's really an interesting combination of units we're seeing here, actually. Especially as Teuton, seeing scouts out in play, generally not common, but seeing Teutonic Knights as well in the same game,
yeah,
really interesting.
It's certainly not the norm, that's for sure. But I think as well, Untray just sending these fire ships to their death. There's a lot of galleons there for Nock, and obviously all of those resources he's investing in those fires being wasted and being lost.
Yeah, Untray actually pushing in with some Cavalier there in the center of the map, however, he just won't have the gold count to really keep it up at this point, like I said, he's down to 48 gold, he's losing the middle, well, the center, which means he's going to lose access to most of his gold. Still trying to produce monks as well, of course, going to be really hefty on the gold count.
Yeah.
So, saying that, those Cavalier are actually doing a good job in the center there and taking out quite a few villages.
Yeah, they're going to be reasonably good there. I mean, you've got to remember right now that Nock doesn't have another castle. And so without that castle, he can't really defend this area all too well. And if Untray can take out the siege workshop, then Nock's not going to be able to make any more bombard cannons, and he might actually be able to hold on to it again.
Yeah, Nox slowly moving in with some knights, so a few scouts, one knight there, so it looks like the knight production is about to start, and of course with that, pretty much starting to look like one of the nails in the coffin, really.
Yeah, definitely. Nock now adding in some pikemen as well to deal with the cavalier. And of course, this game is literally just a game of counters. It's one counter after another. The question is, who's going to come out on top? Entree still trying to take the water here, but Nock really keeping a firm hold on that. For now, how long can he hold it though? There's still even more fire ships coming out, and Entree is not going to be resigning in a hurry. He is going to hold on to this for as long as he possibly can. Seems like at the moment he's doing a pretty good job of it.
Yeah, like I said, nail in the coffin there, but the knight production has stopped. Entree coming in with Cavalier, fast fire ships on the water, well in the way here to clawing his way back into the game. Took out that castle that was really stopping him from taking the water. Lots of barracks up for Nock though, ready to do some damage.
Yeah, the thing is now though that Nock is going to have to make trash because he's really not got any gold collectors in the middle at all. Entree, 41 gold miners, Nock, 10. I mean, that's a huge difference for such a late stage in the game, and I think now, with Falcontrade getting so much gold income, he might actually just be able to push Nock right back and pretty much banish him from this island.
That's it, and of course having the low gold count for Nock means he's not going to be able to produce those galleys, well, galleons, and because of that, Entree going to have complete control of the water.
Yeah, definitely. So Falcontrade there in a good position now, and he's actually going to be able to push Nock right back, and Nock is going to have to fall back right to his base, produce trash, which of course, making those halberdier, they're going to be great for the cavalier, but against the Teutonic Knights that Entree is making, Entree is going to be able to basically take the island and stop Nock getting back on right at this stage.
Yeah, fire ships just coming in from absolutely everywhere, so Entree pretty much having complete dominance on the water now. I don't count any galleys actually for Nock at all, and Entree taking the score lead right now, showing he's really on his way of climbing back up.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, going into the Imperial Age, Nock was so far ahead, and, you know, he did take out so much of Entree's base here, but Entree really hanging on. At one stage, he didn't even have a castle, but he managed to get it back up, and he managed to actually create enough back on here and hold it. Nock resigns, and that's GG.
That was a hell of a game.
That was great.
I think we're going to be seeing a very interesting series here. That is 1 to Falcontrade straight out.
Yeah, definitely.
Wow. I don't know what to say at this point. That was a remarkable comeback. And we've seen a lot of that recently, which has been absolutely fabulous.
Yeah, I mean, that was brilliant. I mean, Nock there, and through the feudal age, through the castle age, he had a really good advantage. Yeah, he was a bit slow to get into the middle, but with that fast imperial time, he was really able to do a lot of damage to Entree here, and I was worried that Entree wouldn't be able to hold on and keep this center island, at which stage it would have been Nock's victory. But Entree held it, he pushed him right back, and although it was a bit of an uphill struggle through the Imperial Age, he did come out on top, and Nock says GG. There we have it.
Yeah, really interesting game. I'm impressed by both players in this stage, and I couldn't really hope for a better game in this kind of state.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this is round 1 of the qualifiers, and we're already having games like this. I mean, that's pretty damn good. So we should come back out of here now, and game 2 will be coming up